we're kind of getting to the vacancy point, and we're getting pushback from the client, whether it be whether you've just taken on flex point forward and all the rest, and they're all pushing back to say we want to go contingent, we don't want to go retain.
Yeah, so flex point forward are already with another firm, but yeah, Gemini Investors they're already working with multiple other firms. They've just hired somebody.
This is the excuse they're giving you.
Yeah, so that's where we're now asking what they've done so far, working with other recruiters. They typically work contingent. They haven't had a need for it. That's worked for them. They haven't had a need or any sort of problem for them to go there. So I asked about why have you not found a result now, and he said actually we have recently hired somebody that's due to start in September, and we can bring somebody else on.
If we think of 3 challenges, 1 is pain, 2nd is urgency, and 3 is brand recognition, knowing you, having had conversations, etc. From there. So we've got basically three challenges. So if we had 1 and 2, 3 could be a blocker, but we need 1 and 2 to get it. So if we think of Gemini, the problem is that we've got limited pain, or some level of pain, which you would describe as?
They're needing to, a team stretched, they've got a gap for somebody else at the moment, they could do with somebody else that can support them on origination, just because they do between 6 to 8 deals a year, so they need to have somebody else on.
So in order to help us understand better pain, what questions could you ask in order to, if I was to put you under pressure now and say, right, we need to really understand their pain, what further questions would you like to ask looking back in order to get more information with regards to pain?
How's that affecting you personally?
Okay.
How's that affecting the team? What's the culture like? How stretched at the moment? You mentioned about how stretched, but what problems do you anticipate in the future? Yes, that and how
Okay, so sometimes when we ask how have you, we try and understand pain, we'll ask questions like how is this affecting you personally, which is bang on straight from the training, but if we're not getting that answer, it's about then going through and going, right, how do I get this information without it feeling like I'm trying to drag it out? So it's a bit like going to the doctors and going, what's wrong with you? Well, my leg hurts. Okay, and how's that affecting you? Well, my leg hurts. So it's annoying me because I can't walk to the shop, I can't go here. And then you get a little bit. So what tend to push on is that initial discussion and conversation is, when you've asked maybe some of those questions or even before, thinking about how can I level with this person to see where we kind of are at with regards to how much pain or no pain that this is. So what I tend to find is private equity firms tend to hire, you're obviously bringing this as an associate position.
Yeah.
Okay, so junior end of private equity, what's driving you to bring this person on board? And then when he goes, well, we need somebody in the team and this and this. Okay, but really why are you actually making this appointment? Because I understand from working with loads of private equity firms, the teams are usually pretty lean, and we don't tend to overhire as a firm. So I don't know a single private equity firm that hires in fortuity of, look, we'll have X and Y people in the future and we need to hire because we need those people on board. It usually means that there's a process that you're going through and it's either been slowed down. So what's actually happening in the business that's triggering you to go, we're going to bring an extra hire on, or we're going to replace this person instead of leaving them? See that then, it's like, well, okay, well, we've got these deals coming through, we're really busy here, and the market's mad at the moment, etc., etc. And then asking, so is it that people are working later at the moment and that you've got your team overstretched, or do you actually feel that you're missing out on deals? Well, I actually feel that we're missing out on deals. Now you're going to get two responses, you can get multiple responses, but this response you're looking at the extremities is, it's not that bad, or it's really bad. And that will open up a little bit more on how to understand what kind of level of pain we have. Now, that will unearth whether we have pain. Urgency level, what answer did they give you on urgency?
He said that they could bring somebody on immediately. So then I asked, 1 to 5 question, and he gave me the answer, and he'd say probably a 2 could wait.
2 or 3 weeks.
Why he put it as probably between 2 and 3 is what he would say that he can wait. Ideally, they have somebody starting fall. That's the preference, but they can wait.
Okay, so we've got 1 immediate, 5, 6 to 9 months. 2 would be post what they regard as summer, as they regard as autumn. And we regard as autumn as they see it as fall. So we're basically, if we think as fall begins in September, moving into October around that time, so it's kind of saying I can wait for 2 months. That could be that it's quite quiet at the moment during summer, so then fire back and find out. What do we understand about his urgency on top of him saying 2? Do we get any other information on whether it was a...
It was that they wouldn't hire the wrong person, that was why he said that.
Okay, so, and then I'd be asking him, well, I understand, and the difficulty is spending so much time here and then not getting the actual vacancy on, but to understand if we're only just going to push retained, then this could be where you spend all your time and then being like, well, I don't think this is retained, and the experience pile on move on. Obviously that's not the case, and this will work and contingent. But on that urgency of being like, thinking, okay, well immediately, why is his urgency for the fall and not now? Is it because that there's not enough pain? Could be the case. Or is it he's giving me loads of pain and the urgency's there because he's not confident in hiring, or he's not confident that there's a good amount of talent on the market, or it could be that actually they want to get summer through and then it's going to ramp up during fall, because if you think about even as America, there'll be a lot of holiday, could it be that the owners of the businesses are off and that people are relaxing and people have gone to Hawaii, so therefore their deal flow is less and therefore their assessment of companies is less to build it through. Yeah. So you're thinking of what is his reason, whatever reason he's giving you is what is his reason, and then being able to either offer that as a solution, or if you're not sure what it is, so you're telling me that the pain is high here, but you're also telling me that you're happy to wait. That doesn't usually mirror in. You know, is it that you're not sure the talent's in the market? Is it because of potential holidays and everyone on vacation at the moment? Or is it something else that I'm missing? Well, actually, it's something that you're missing, and therefore you'll get the third answer, or it'll go, well, what's the situation? Well, that's the situation. And then asking potentially, when does this become an urgent problem where it's affecting your team or it's affecting you closing deals? So that's 1, pain, 2, urgency, 3, brand is unfortunately something you can't cover off on the first call. We can obviously send case studies, we can send examples, we can send firms that we've worked with, mentioning we're working with Gemini, Massachusetts, mentioning working with CEP, mentioning that we're in conversation with FlexPoint and whoever else is in that Massachusetts area to share that. But that comes down to consistent conversation.
No, I just think that when you do have relationships with firms and you can roll off each other's firms' names, but then also who you're working with in that firm, and that goes a long way. So I know it's not like, yeah, we've heard of this, we've heard, yeah, we've been working with Alex in Heritage Hall, we've been working with this person, and that's, so rather than just let's mention names, let's mention the people that we're working with.
So if we, absolutely, in that kind of brand, but that's because subconsciously individuals are not, well, us as people are not very good buyers. So when we go out to buy something, we don't have the skill set, albeit, I would argue, possibly different. We don't have the skill set to know whether an Android phone or an iPhone is better suited for us. And we probably don't have the time because we're trying to do something else. So all we do is look at, well, my best friend's got an iPhone, so I'm going to get an iPhone. Or I know that the phone down the road uses Halima, so therefore we'll use Halima, because if it's good enough for them, it's probably good enough for us, which is why case studies exist, which is why we leverage, like most recruitment firms have logos all across their website. So that's how we leverage brand to push it. So that's